We are back to the van. That feels good.
It does feel good. I miss the van.
Although I kind of miss the tent now.
Yeah, life's weird.
So after we rang the bell, we made it back to St. Charles. We did make it back to the hotel in time for a second continental breakfast.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Get up and eat breakfast, go for a hard ride for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then go eat breakfast again.
Yeah.
That's been all about the food.
Yes. And that day we had wide open after the ride, so we kind of just walked around St. Charles down there by the trail, and really neat little town.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how little it is, but... And the next day we caught a shuttle out of St. Charles and made it back to the van midday. It was interesting taking the shuttle back because we passed by some of the trailheads and some of the bridges and things that we rode on, so that was interesting for me to see. Like, we're in a car, but hey, we were there, and it took us about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, a lot quicker.
Something that took us 11 days.
It wasn't the same route. We took the freeway in the van.
Yeah,
it was
obviously.
nice. It was nice.
So yeah, we got back to the van, and
I was nervous.
Were you?
Yeah, we'd been away from the van. I'd been parked for 12 days.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about something happening to it. I felt pretty confident with the location and the people watching it. But, you know, we had everything like normal. We had the refrigerator and freezer were full, were on. Just, what's it going to be? We've not left the van, just unattended, not driven, nothing. Just parked out there. So we got back to the van. I walked in. Everything was great.
Battery was full.
The battery was
coach
full.
Battery, yeah.
The engine battery was good too.
That was the one thing I was wondering about, because I left the dash cam connected. I didn't know if there would be a little tiny draw off the engine battery, and I was hoping that would turn right over, and it did. Everything.
Yep. Opened the fridge. Beer was cold.
Yeah.
Everything was good.
I was not worried about the coach battery. I'm confident in that, and I knew that it would sustain itself. It was at 100%. We got back, and obviously we had some sunny, bright days, so the solar was just constantly recharging, even though the fridge was on. And
yeah, it was just nice. And then we just drove the van a couple hundred yards from the community center to the trailhead and
spent the night there.
Took our time getting everything out of the bike trailers, loading things up instead of just tossing them in a hurry. We just, because we got there in the afternoon, we were able to load everything in the van, take our time. And
okay, but us taking our time, I want to point out, because this van is so organized and everything does have a place, it took us about 45 minutes to get everything that we had in the trailers folded down, stored, all our camping gear stored, bikes back in. 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And then we hung out at the trailhead and spent the night. And then we just been working our way back towards Florida for a wedding.
Yeah.
We stopped in Arkansas and spent some time with some family there. And now we're back at Jeff Davis Lake again.
In Mississippi.
Yeah.
But I have so much footage that I'm going through, as you've seen. I got all the videos up by now, hopefully. So that's been just kind of my task. A fun task, because I'm loving going back and looking at the footage. What was your favorite part of the trip?
Well, I think I like the challenge, the accomplishment. Every day was an accomplishment to get through the day. And I like all the food, because if you've ever done anything like backpacking or bike packing or anything where it's a long, hard day of you know, burning a lot of calories, everything tastes so good. Like the breakfast sandwich at Casey's General Store is like, never had anything better in my life.
5-star gourmet right there. Chef's kiss. I have two favorite parts of the trip. One being kind of how we travel in the van. Every day is unknown. I don't know what, yes, it may be a challenge, but there's always surprises, like the music that played all night long and the raccoon getting in our stuff. Like, those are the little things that I love. It's unexpected. And
do you love it when it happens or when it's over, looking back on it? That's what's strange.
I kind of love it when it happens.
At the time, and it's 1:30 in the morning, and I'm cleaning up Pistol's dog food from a raccoon, I was like, I want to be back in bed. But it's a great memory of a great adventure. And
Yeah, like those are the things you remember. Also, the second thing that I loved the most about the trip, and we say this again about traveling in the van, is the people we meet along the way.
Yep.
They really enriched our whole experience on the trail. We met Dana and Kurt there at the Bluffton barn, and then we also, of course, met Bill and Carol our first day out, and
who we still stay in touch with.
Yeah.
We may do a bike packing trip with them in the future.
Yeah, we might.
If we, stay fit as them.
I don't know, man. I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me talk about dislikes. And there's nothing...
The company you had?
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I love the three of us having
Yeah.
this adventure together. The one thing I will say about I didn't love was our pace, because we were so slow, yet we had to go so quickly, which, does that make sense? We had to try so hard to get to where we're going because of the heat. It made it not as enjoyable, I think, as it could have been. There were some little things that we would have enjoyed to stop to see or to stop to take a photo, but also because Pistol was in the trailer, every time we stop, it's a little bit of a production. So if we just want to stop and take a quick photo, like, she wants out of the trailer, so we'll let her out. And so it turns into like a 15-minute break, And there were times when we saw something cool, we wanted to take a picture or video, and we just had to go, because we didn't have the luxury of having excessive time to get where we were going. So that part was less enjoyable for me. If we hadn't done it during like record-setting heat wave, I think it would have been not as much pressure. We could have spent all day to get where we were going, and no big deal.
We had enough hardship for the trip without having the heat wave.
Yeah.
We planned well.
It really rained right before we left, and then we waited a day for the trail to dry out, and it was fantastic. First few days were really good, and then poof.
Yeah, when I get up to 100 degrees,
Yeah.
that was brutal. I like that we could kind of overcome and adapt, and I guess because we're free to do that,
Yeah.
it's not like a scheduled vacation. We're able to okay, it's going to be super hot. Let's get a hotel for a few days with air conditioning and relax. Let that go by. Let's take the ride, and instead of riding 40 or 50 miles a day, let's ride 20, 25 miles a day. To be able to change your plan and do that was a big bonus. I like.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the luxury of being flexible with our time, but also I think mentally, it's a challenge to be able to change a plan once you have it in place. And we had reservations at the campgrounds along the way, because some of those you had to, and the barn, those things. It is a mental challenge to be able to say, okay, this isn't working, let's try something different, instead of scrapping the whole plan altogether. We could have done that and caught a shuttle out of anywhere. Right. But we didn't. We persevered.
Rang that bell.
We rang that bell.
Yeah, that was cool.
So cool. This has definitely been the biggest physically challenging thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm definitely better for it. It shows you what you're capable of as a person. And looking ahead, we'll know more here in the next little bit after the wedding and stuff. We'll take a look at the weather and the map, but
yeah, we're down south the wrong time of the year. This is not our jam.
Definitely not our jam.
It's 90 for a high today and kind of humid. So we're not 90 and humid kind of people.
No, so we're taking a look at a few different options after the wedding, where we're going, what we're doing, but definitely stay tuned for that, because it's going to be something exciting.
Yeah. We're going to do this again?
I don't know that I would do the Katy Trail again. Another thing that was a challenge I want to touch on is finding food. Not that we were going to starve. We packed food. But ideally, you don't want to stop in the middle of the day to cook a mountain house meal. It takes time, and then it's hot as well. We had a lot of bars and that sort of thing, so we were fine. A lot of the stores that were in business still were not open, and especially Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, closed. So convenience store was it.
Yeah, I think if we do it again, we know more of where we'd want to stay.
Yeah.
I would have liked to. We rode through Augusta and stayed
Klondike.
at Klondike Campground, which is like 4 miles past it.
Mm-hmm.
But Augusta, that's all that wine country. I would stay in Augusta, even if there's no place to camp, maybe get a bed and breakfast or a hotel. 'Cause there was nice places to eat and do wine tastings. That's what I would enjoyed.
Yeah.
I did ride up a crazy steep hill. I'm sure that's probably on a video somewhere. You've probably seen it. But bought a bottle of wine from the Augusta winery, took that to the Klondike campground, made Mountain House dehydrated beef stroganoff, and had a couple glasses of wine. I love that.
The highlight of your trip?
I love that. I would rather be in that moment, sitting outside, having ridden all day with my best friend and life partner, adventure partners, having a dehydrated meal and a glass of wine. It's like, I would rather be there than any fancy resort hotel in the world. It's just an amazing feeling, and I love that. And I'm blessed that we both have that same desire to live that life.
For sure, yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. We're
Yeah.
lucky. Pistol's pretty lucky. She had a pretty cush back there. She actually really enjoyed it. Anyway, so I just want to hop on here and kind of recap what our thoughts were. And we are not scared away from doing this again.
Right. It's interesting because we were talking yesterday, we're walking, and we've been doing this roaming around, the countries for 5.5 years, and we've seen so many places, and our favorite thing was always just not planning trips, not planning destinations, just roaming around and seeing new things, and so often we'll think we're in someplace new and we've been there before, and so I still love doing that, but it doesn't have the same thrill as it did almost 6 years ago. So now it's like adding these little adventures like a bikepacking trip has been really cool.
So we don't entirely know what's ahead. We're tossing around a few different ideas, but as soon as we know, we'll let you know. See you down the road.
Carry on.
Carry on. For behind the scenes footage, extra content, and all our videos early release and ad free, check out our Patreon page.
And check out our blog on our website, carryonvagabond.com.
Thanks again, and
Carry
on.